Tune into transformation, you'll feel amazing. Monday through Sunday, you know how we coming. Tune in when the moon out, or tune in the morning when it's sunny. We can talk about God, we can talk about love, we can talk being funny. Tune in right now, when you finna watching us, you gon' feel like money. I call that transformation, transformation. Call that transformation, it's amazing. Tune in to transformations, you feel amazing. Tune in to transformations, cause it's amazing.
Greetings to each and every last one of you out there. As you come on, do me a favor and not only just hit the like button, but I would love for you to comment and share this broadcast with about 3 people because I promise that it will help uh, not only you, but those people. Oftentimes, we find ourselves in situations, and some situations are more detrimental to others. And so we begin to look to heaven and begin to question God, why me? God, why am I going through what I'm going through? Why am I in and out of these relationships? Why am I in this abusive relationship? Why no one loves me? Why I'm lost my job? Why my children are insubordinate? Why? And we begin to evaluate our lives to see what we have done or may have done to get to the point in our lives where we are experiencing so many trials, experiencing so much turmoil. Like, wait, and we question God, like, man, what's happening? I can remember when I first got saved, and this was like 20 years ago. Probably 20, 23 years ago to be exact. 22 years ago when I first got saved. And the first book that I read after getting saved was the book of Job. And I know we all heard these stories of Job. We in and out of the church house and we hear the story. But something stuck out to me while reading that story. And I want to paraphrase. You see, Job was one of the richest men in all of land. Richest man, right? Job was a baller. Job was a shot caller. Job had it going on. Job was like, man, look, I'm in. I'm up. That's what it. Job was like, I'm up. I'm up. I'm up. I got everything that I want. I got everything that I need. Man, if I want to go ride a horse, I ride a horse. If I want to go ride a donkey, I ride a donkey. If I want to go, slaughter this chicken, the pig, the cow, the goat, whatever it is, I can do that. Job had it going on. I believe the modern day Job would be someone like who's rich in all the land, would be somebody like Elon Musk. I guess he's the richest one, right? I'm thinking that he's the richest one. Uh, Maybe some Saudi prince or something like that. But he has some money, and so therefore they had this meeting, right? Joe Baller shot calling, but then they have this certain meeting in heaven. A meeting in heaven? God gotta have a meeting for. Don't he sit high and look low? Don't he own everything? Who he meeting with? That was my question. I'm like, He's the Lord. Why he had to meet with anybody? Right? And so therefore, uh, one day, the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord. Like this, the heavenly court. You understand? Not like the courtroom downtown, wherever you may be at, courtroom. They got a heavenly meeting. And all the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord. Why are they presenting themselves before the Lord? The Lord know who they are. It's like the Lord sitting on the throne and they come up there and presenting themselves. I've been in the many courtrooms and, I had to go in there, and I had to have a lawyer to present himself before me because I couldn't say nothing. And so the heavenly court comes to present themselves before the Lord, and the New Living Translation, the accuser, that's what they call him. The accuser, Satan, came with them. The accuser. So all the heavenly court had a meeting. The heavenly court. All the people up there, all of the spiritual beings, whatever up there, I don't know what's up there. You understand me? I just hear the story and I believe it. But you got the heavenly court presenting themselves before the Lord. And the accuser, the earthly accuser, the one who took up a third of heaven with him, the accuser, Satan, Beelzebub, the devil, himself, he comes to the meeting too. Now, I'm like, I thought he was kicked out of heaven. What are you doing back there? What are you doing back there? And where have you been? Where have you come from? The Lord asks Satan. Like he don't know where he been. He's the Lord. Satan answered the Lord. I'm reading out of Job chapter 1. He said, man, I've been patrolling. He's a police now. He's been patrolling. Security guard, police, or whatever. The army, military. I've been patrolling not the city, not the state, not the nation, not America, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, Antarctica, Asia, not patrolling the continent. Man, I've been patrolling the earth. Watching everything that's going on. Then the Lord asks Satan, have you noticed my servant Job? Now, we got a whole world going on. Everybody on the earth, I don't know how many there was back then, but you got about, 1 point something billion to 2 point something billion right now. He said, man, have you noticed my servant Job? He is the first man in all the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity. He fears God and stays away from evil. Satan replied to the Lord, Job has good reason to fear God. You have always put a wall of protection around him and his home and his property. You have made him prosper in everything he does. Look how rich he is. But reach out and take away everything he has, and surely he'll cuss you out in your face. All right, you may test him. The Lord said to Satan, do whatever you want and everything he possesses, but don't harm him physically. So Satan left the Lord's presence. Father God, you help me in the name of Jesus. Here we got a meeting in heaven. The heavenly hosts. There was a meeting in heaven, and all the sons of God present themselves before the Lord. All the sons of God. They in heaven. They got this big old meeting. And everybody there. And Satan comes to the meeting. Right? Bear with me. Bear with me, because I just read out of the New Living Translation. But I'm going to read this again out of the King James Version. Now, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence thou come? Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto him, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, perfect, an upright man, one that feared God and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Though Job fear God for naught, hast not thou made a hedge around him, and about his house and all that he had on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he had, and he will cuss you out. There's a meeting in heaven. All the angels, the court, the heavenly court, come around, and Satan come around that sucker and say, man, what's that? What's that? And God say, man, what's happening with you? Where you been at? Man, you know me, man. Look, I've been in that earth. I've been running up and down that thing. I've been running up and down that thing, high and low, north, south, east, and west. I've been all around that thing. And in the midst of all the earth, I guess the earth was so messed up. God said, man, have you considered my partner down there? My son down there, Job. Straight upright, man, you understand? Yeah, I know you do, but you got everything. He got everything because you protecting him, Lord. You got all this stuff here. But where I happen to be puzzled is that Satan, the same man that try to take over heaven, the same, not man, the same angel, one angelic being who was in heaven, praise and worship angel, who was in heaven, and he took a third of heaven with him because he tried to rebel against God. And God cast them out of heaven. A third of them fell down, and they've been ruling in this earth. Now Satan is ruling the earth. He's up and down the earth. He's doing this thing. He's the prince of this world. He's the God of this world. He's doing everything possible, everything that he wanted to do that he couldn't do in heaven, because he's the prince of this town here. And all of a sudden, how he get back up there in heaven? There's a meeting in heaven. I thought he was kicked out. But at the same time, he's there in the meeting. I need answers. I need answers, because this same Satan, this same Beelzebub, this same ruler of darkness, this same god doggone thing, and being that was kicked out of heaven was back up there. He back up there in a meeting. They got a meeting. Just imagine, I'm paraphrasing. They got this big old heavenly table, and all angelic beings there, and God just sitting there at the head of the table. And all of a sudden, just imagine Satan walks in there. Just imagine the looks of all the angelic beings' faces when he walks in there. He come in there strolling. I bet he was smooth with it. I bet Satan came up there smooth, floating in heaven, the same heaven he got kicked out. Yeah, I'm here. What you looking at? What you looking at, Michael? What you looking at, Gabriel? You understand me? What you looking at? Yeah, I'm here. Just imagine Satan walking in there. What he doing in here? What was going through the other angelic being's mind when Satan walked in the meeting? What was going through their minds? They're spiritual beings. I guess they don't have no minds. I don't know. I'm just saying. But in the midst of it all, he's there. Well, Ramon, where are you going with this? God gave him permission to interfere with the life of his servant Job, the baller, the shot caller. I remember like it was yesterday when I first got saved. That was the first book I read. Because before I went to prison, I was on the block. I was doing my thing. Nobody couldn't tell me nothing. Then all of a sudden, I lost it all at the twinkling of an eye. But then I got to know the Lord. And I put myself in Job's shoes. He said, man, you can do whatever you want with him, but you can't take his soul, can't harm him physically. And unlike Job, I got cast into prison. Thank God I had a praying mother, right? Thank God I had a praying mother who was able to lift me, keep me lifted in prayer. And so therefore, they're in there, have this meeting, and then Satan leaves. He leaves having to come back to earth. I don't know how long he traveled. I don't know how far heaven is. You understand me? And I don't know nobody who went there and came back. Praise the Lord. You know, people have visions and all kind of stuff. I had vision, you know, but I ain't see all this stuff what people say that they see. You know, I ain't see nothing. I just heard the voice tell me my assignment. But God gave him permission. God gave him permission. Man, do whatever you want. Long story short, the enemy, the accuser, he went and wreaked havoc in Job's life. Job was balling 1 minute, and the next minute he ain't have nothing. The devil messed with him so much that his friends turned their back on him, his wife. Job lost all of his cattle. He lost his home. He lost everything. But when it's all said and done, he said, man, I'd rather cuss the day I was born before I cuss God out. Long story short, when it was finished, the sons and daughters that he had weren't replaced. But the riches that he had, God multiplied it in the end, hundredfold. But that same thing that happened with Job, it happened with Peter and the disciples. After the Lord's Supper, he turned to Peter and said, man, you're going to deny me 3 times. During the Lord's Supper, he said, man, when you put your hand in this cup, you know what I'm saying? One of y'all going to betray me. After the Lord's Supper, but they were still sitting down. And he turned to Peter and said, Simon, Simon, Satan asked my permission to have you that he may sift you like wheat. That's in Luke chapter 22. I'm going to talk about that another time. Satan had asked my permission to have you. That sounds familiar. because he got God's permission to wreak havoc in Job's life. He got permission to wreak havoc in Ramon's life. And Lord knows, many times in my past, I've worn a mask. In the past, uh, since my release from prison, February 7th, 2007, I have been up, I have been down. Every time I got up and went down, went back up higher. The Apostle Paul said something very significant. He said, man, look, I've been both the bound and the base, but I learned to be content in whatsoever state that I'm in. And so therefore, you know, I have to continue to press forward. The race is not given to the swift or the strong. It's given to those who endure unto the very end. Could it be true that the hell that you're experiencing, God is allowing it to happen because you're one of his servants? Because you're one of them who put their faith in him? Could it be true? You're experiencing hell. That may be you listening to me right now. You're going through hell and high water. I heard the voice of God tell me about a shift, and I shifted. But when I shifted, all kind of hell broke loose. And I'm like, come on now, Lord. Why you tell me to shift and I go through this? So I'm asking questions. But then I was reminded of Job. I reminded of the disciples. Why not? Then I'm reminded of, and look back over my life. I was up, I was down. I was up, I was down. I say, oh, something is about to happen. And I'm reminded of my book, the second book I wrote called Propel. And God said, man, I gave you that name of that book because that's what I'm going to do in your life. I'm going to propel you to a level that you have never been. I'm going to propel you that you're going to be blessed to be a blessing. I'm going to propel you to do the unthinkable, unimaginable. You know, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. So I'm constant reminded of God's grace as he has done for me so many times as I've been on this journey now since 2001. August of 2001. When I say, here I am, Lord, use me. And God has been with me ever since. Never leave me or forsake me. I experienced some hell. But God said, man, keep going. So as your brother, your friend, your nephew, your uncle, whatever you want to call me, keep going. The race is not given unto the swift or the strong. It's given to those who endure. And one thing about when you're enduring the thing is that it's going to be painful when you endure something. As a matter of fact, when you're enduring something, you're going to go through. When you're enduring something, it's going to be difficult. Webster says it like this: suffer something painful or difficult patiently, last, endure does not mean comfortable. Endure does not mean painless. Endure does not mean easy. Endure. It's going to be hurtful, painful, and it's going to make you wish that you wasn't even born when you endure. The race is not given unto the swift or the strong. It's given to those who experience heartache and pain. It's given to those who continue to press forward in spite of the obstacles that come their way. Endure until the very end. The end is when you close your eyes and you end up in paradise. Endure. Because if it's happening to you, God is trying to take you to get you off of your current level to bring you to the level where He wants you to be. There's levels in life, and every time in between levels, there's pain. In between levels, you have to endure to get to the next level. In between levels, you are going to experience some things that you never experienced before in your life. In between the levels, some of you may still be at level 1, but you're going through the process to get to the second level. And the higher you go, the more pain you begin to experience. But as you continue to go higher, you begin to lose some things. You can't bring everything with you the higher you get to the top of the mountain. You cannot bring everything with you. God is going to lighten your load. The more you go higher, the God that we serve begins to lighten your load. People that you used to be around or used to attach themselves to you can't go with you. So God begins to lighten the load. The higher you go, people can't go with you. Everybody can't go with you. I'm sorry. And some of them may be blood related. Some of them may be, people that you hold very, very close to you. Everybody cannot go with you because everybody is not on the same level with you. So if I were to entitle this message, it would be to keep going. Keep going. Why? Because you need it. Keep going. Why? Because you're on assignment. Keep going. Why? Because you are a testimony to others. Without the test, there is no testimony. Without a test, there is no testimony. Keep going. Faith that ain't tested can't be trusted. I thank God for you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and meet me right here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. This is truly the day the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. In spite of the weapons formed up against us, but they won't prosper. I'm thanking God for you. I'm thanking God for what He has in store for you. Increase, favor, and overflow. Y'all have a wonderful, super,
We can help you out.
fantastic.
Help you find your baby. Parents
And may
amazing.
the word
Reason.
of the Lord